against a division rival, against a team that, again, if you win, you're on your way to the knockout round of the play-in tournament. I mean, I can go on and on. Ryan, Kings just got manhandled in that first half.
Yeah, Grant, throw it with your description. Throw a team that looks scared to be on the court with the Golden State Warriors into that, because they just do. There's not really any decisive movements from the Kings offensively. Defensively, they're timid. And if you're looking at this as a Golden State fan, you're letting everybody else beat the Kings right now. Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, those are the guys that can't go off in the first half.
All right, so I was doing my open forum show today, and I listed 3 keys. And the first key that I listed was do not let Klay Thompson have a game, because he's been very Jekyll and Hyde this year. And if he has a game, the Kings are going to be in trouble. Well, guess what? He's having a game. 17 points, as you pointed out, 5 of 9, 3 of 6. Conversely, no Keegan Murray in this game. You had Barnes with 12. You had Fox struggling mightily, 3 of 9, 0 of 3. Kevin Huerter, he shot the ball well with 11 points, but you get nothing from Sabonis, relatively speaking. In 18 minutes, you need Sabonis to score more than 7 points.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the clog. That's the problem for the Kings right now, because when they're running the dribble handoff and specifically pick and roll with Fox and Sabonis, the Warriors see Sabonis as zero threat whatsoever. So both guys are coming up on Fox, which is causing him to shoot threes, drive to the hole, get contested shots. Sabonis has to get it going for the Kings to win this game.
No question. You're 100% correct. And if he doesn't, then the Kings are not going to win. And I would say one thing, and you and I have talked about this a lot. If you're down 17 against a team like Denver when they're at full strength, the game's pretty much over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When you're down 17 against the Warriors at halftime, the game's far from over, because both of these teams offensively have the ability to have a 70-point half. The Warriors just did. The Kings are more than capable of having a 70-point half. So this game's not over yet.
Great. The Warriors have 11 turnovers, and they still have this massive lead. The Kings only have 6 turnovers in this game. So the Kings are going to get opportunities that the Warriors will just give them. It's just a matter of what opportunities can the Kings make themselves by making plays defensively and offensively.
Again, the Kings get to the line 12 times. They only made 8, and not good at all. Jerry Reynolds to talk about us. Jerry, it's great to have you join us here at halftime. I was just telling Ryan, that you can't have a much worse first half if you're Sacramento, but I was also sharing with Ryan that I did a show earlier on this format this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And I said one of my 3 keys was not to let Klay Thompson go off, because Klay, as you well know, Jerry, has been very Jekyll and Hyde this year. He's been really good or really, really bad. And when he's really good, this Warriors team is very difficult to beat.
Well, that's absolutely true. And I mean, Klay really has not, even his best games aren't quite like they used to be, where he could take over a game. But the way he's gotten out of the box, obviously he's playing with a lot of confidence now, and Curry's going too. So it's been a terrible half. You can't spin it any other way. A terrible half for the Kings. Really, it almost looked scared to play at their best. And I mean it. They really just got it. I thought they settled down there in the last few minutes of the half. So and it's NBA, so there's time. If all they have to do is chop about 6 points off the lead in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and you got a ball game. Because the Warriors will give it away. They turn the ball over more than anybody. So, but the Kings they've got to establish something early on in the third quarter to get back in this and have a chance.
Yeah, Jerry, I was just telling Ryan, being down 17 at the half against a team like Denver, if they're at full strength, that's you're probably not going to win a game. The Warriors, listen, both these teams are capable of putting 70 on the board in the half. The Warriors just did. The Kings are more than capable of doing that in the second half. So I'm with you. This game's not over yet, but I better see what I saw in the last 3 minutes of the first half carry over to the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, or else you're right, they won't catch up.
No, it has to. They've got to get a push right away, and I think fortunately, just finishing the half as they did, gives them a little hope going into the locker room. I mean, Coach Brown can say, "Look, we chopped into that lead a little bit, so we can catch these guys," and they can. I mean, the Warriors are like the Kings in the sense that their 3-point shots are falling. They look unbeatable, and they were. And the Kings the same way, except other than Herter, I didn't see many guys making any shots. So, and I thought Fox and Sabonis
Yep.
very marginal for their level of play normally. So, a lot of things got to change, and it's very disappointing. Let's put it that way. Very disappointing half.
Ryan, in the playoffs that the Kings lost to the Warriors in 7 games, the number one thing that we talked about after every game was rebounding. The Kings got manhandled on the boards. They got manhandled on the glass in the first half. Minus 11 on the boards in that first half for Sacramento.
Yeah, if you can out-rebound the Minnesota Timberwolves, you can out-rebound the Golden State Warriors. So we know this team can do it, and don't even bring up Keegan Murray because the Kings did it in Minnesota without him. Now, that being said, this is a game where the Kings definitely miss Keegan on the defensive end, especially when the Warriors get into their motion and switching. There's some tough matchups out there, but the Kings, regardless, have to hit the boards in the second half.
Yeah, a key to that too is, you got to force them to miss shots. Very difficult.
Right.
You can't get a rebound if it's going through the net. That's there just wasn't
Right.
very many opportunities there. So that's a
Yeah.
huge part of it. So obviously that's got to change though. You got to force some shots by the Warriors, and then get more rebounds and get out and run.
Well, I mean, as we just had a message come in, Steph Curry's got 8 freaking rebounds. Think about that for a minute. 8 rebounds. And here's the other thing about Curry. When the fourth quarter starts, if this game is close, it's going to be Curry. All right. Now, we also know the Kings have a player named De'Aaron Fox who lives for the fourth quarter, but the Kings better be in distance when this fourth quarter starts because this is a Warriors team. As much as they give up leads, they also have the ability to blow you out where you can't come back. So these next 5 to 7 minutes are going to be huge for this game.
Oh, no question. I mean, they simply got to cut in the lead and look like they can defend them a little bit better. Because you point out, I mean, with Curry, nobody really guards him. I mean, he has stretches where he misses shots, but so he's still the outlier of the whole thing. So if the Kings can just get to the rest of them, but Wiggins had an unusual great shooting game for him. That happens. It doesn't mean it'll happen in the second half, and that's what you got to hang your hat on right now. And I'm trying to find somewhere to hang my hat because it's been disappointing.
Well, the Kings need one of their 10-0 runs just to get going here, and they're capable of doing it. So we'll see. Ryan, do you think the Kings come back and make this game close?
Yeah, I do think they make it close. I'm torn on whether they come back and win it, but I don't think they will have a bad third quarter like they've had the last 2 times Golden State has been in Sacramento.
I think they're going to come back too in this game. I don't know if they're going to win it, but I think they're going to make it a game. Jerry, what do you think?
I do too. I'm just this team has shown too much, over the last year and a half. So no, I think they'll come back and make it a game, and I think it's going to be tough to win because of Curry. I guess I'm traumatized by him too many times.
And then the impact Draymond Green's having. I mean, he doesn't do much, obviously, offensively, although he did make a couple of threes. And I am so anti-Draymond Green. I just can't stand the guy. But, you got to call it the way it is. When he's on the floor, the Warriors are a much better team, and they're a much better defensive team.
Well, that's the key. I mean, he really does provide a defender, a guy who really is not a great defender anymore, but still a very good defender. And on a team that really doesn't have much of it, it's they're again a little bit of a mirror of the Kings. And really a outstanding defender for the Kings, obviously stands out and really adds a lot. And I thought Gary Payton Jr. was a real factor as well.
Yeah.
He gives them a guy that'll just get in there and stick his nose in. And, if he gets a basket or 2, that's fine. But, they've got their scores. So, yeah. Hey, Monk and Fox have really got to get it going in particular. I think those 2 guys could change this game around. Obviously, you could force the Warriors to start missing some shots, and Sabonis can be more of a factor on the boards.
All right. What about this in-season tournament? Jay says this whole in-season tournament is a silly gimmick. If we lose tonight, might as well be by 12 and get a break during tournament time. I'm with you. I'm not into the NBA in-season tournament. I don't really know who is. I would think if you're a player and you got a chance to go to Vegas and win 500,000, personally, that would motivate me. But I don't know about for players that are making 300, 400, 500, 600, or excuse me, 30, 40, 50, 60 million a year. I can't speak to that, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I know, Jerry, you and I are in the same boat. I think Ryan's kind of, Ryan would like to have the Kings have some time off too, I think, right, Rhino?
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I'm at, Grant. I mean, you see stars in the regular season opt sometimes not to play in the All-Star game where they can make comparable money for the rest instead. So I think that's more valuable. Jay's right.
Some finals from the West. Minnesota beat Oklahoma City 106-103. The Thunder are now 11-6. Minnesota goes to 13-4, and the Mavs win over the Rockets. The final there was 121-115, and Dallas now is 11-6. So the Kings are up against it right now. They got a lot of work to do in 24 minutes, gentlemen.
Yeah, I just one thought on the tournament. I think the danger they may find. I think they've created a little bit of interest in it here, that just didn't be there. But now when it's over, okay, regular season games. What, in a way, you've just degraded the value of regular season normal games. So we'll see. But I want the Kings to win because I want them to win, and if they win this silly tournament, then that's even better. But I'd rather them to win a playoffs in April and May. That's what I'd like to see.
I don't need another Pacific Division champions banner. I don't need another, this banner. The next banner I need is an NBA championship banner, not an in-season tournament banner.
All right. Jerry, great having you on. Appreciate it. And Jerry, tomorrow we'll be on at 4:00. Look forward to chatting with you then.
I'll try to get my game face on. Be ready for you.
All right.
Thanks, Jerry.
See you, Jerry. Ryan, we've got the post-game show coming up, and we'll see. Again, this is a Kings team that is capable of scoring 70 and a half. They're probably going to need to score 70 in this second half to win the game, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, Grant. I mean, I don't even think we're talking about the second half as a whole. You hit the nail on the head speaking about the third quarter. The Warriors have been deadly to this Kings team in the third quarter. So just get past this next one.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Good job. We'll talk to you in about an hour or so.
Sounds good.
And to everyone else, thank you. If you're new, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Hit the like button. We really would appreciate it. Talk to you after the game. Thanks for joining us right here